Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. So as you guys saw, there was a fighter update. I'm here to tell you what fighters got upgraded and what fighters got nerfed. So let's start with Bobby Green here. His punch speed went up from a 92 to a 93. His punch power went from 89 to a 91. His accuracy went from a 90 to a 93. And his footwork went from a 90 to a 92. Then his opponent, Iaquinta, he only got a few nerfs. His punch speed went down from 93 to 92. And then his chin went down from a 92 to a 91. And then we're going to be jumping a little bit all over the place. I apologize. It's just how I got the information. So, and then Frankie Edgar. So he got nothing in the striking, but his submission defense went from a 92 to a 94. His ground striking went from a 92 to a 93. And then his chin went down from an 89 to an 87. So, just be careful. And then we're going to move to the lightweight division. And you guys are going to see some changes in the top 15 here. Michael Chandler, he took a little dip. He used to be, in this top 4 spot. So let's go over what changed for him. Nothing in the striking, but his top control went down from a 94 to a 93. His submission defense actually went up from a 94 to a 95. His ground striking also went up from a 94 to a 95. And this is where he took the biggest hit, was in his health. So his cardio went from a 91 to an 89. His chin went down from a 92 to a 91. His legs went down from 92 to a 90, but then his recovery went up. His recovery was 90, now it's 94. Then let's go to his opponent. So Justin Gaichy, his punch power went up from a 95 to a 96. His blocking went up from a 90 to a 92. And then nothing in the grappling, and then his health went from, his cardio went from a 92 to a 93. His chin went from a 92 to a 93. His legs went from 89 to a 93. And his recovery went from 95 to 96. And then we're going to go over to Islam. This guy, I guess they thought they got the stats wrong because he got quite a few upgrades. And he only had one fight since he's been out. And that was against Dan Hooker, but I guess, that maybe the devs thought they got the stats wrong, so they upgraded him quite a bit. So his punch power, it was 89, now it's 90. Oops. Sorry about that, guys. So his punch power was 89, now it's 90. His blocking was 92. Now it's 93. His head movement went from 89 to a 91. His footwork went from a 91 to a 93. Takedown defense went from 94 to a 95. Then his kick speed went from 87 to a 90. Kick speed went from 87 to a 90. I keep messing up. His kick power went from 87 to a 90, and his kick speed went from 89 to a 90. Sorry, guys. Then let's move to his grappling. His grappling, you keep doing that. You friggin' messing up. All right, his grappling. His takedowns went from 95 to 96. His top control from 95 to 97. His bottom control 92 to 93. His submissions 94 to 95. His submission defense 94 to 95. And then his cardio went from a 93 to a 94. His chin went down from a 91 to an 89. His legs went from 88 to a 90, and his recovery went from 89 to a 91. Sorry, I kept messing up there, but just how I have the notes are kind of all over the place. But anyway, so here we go. Let's move on. Wayley, she didn't get a lot of upgrades. Her takedowns went up from 89 to a 92, and then her bottom control went from 88 to a 90. Her opponent Her opponent, Rose, she only got a few upgrades as well. Her blocking went from a 90 to a 93. Her head movement went from a 90 to a 91. And then her cardio went up from a 92 to a 94. And then now we're getting into the stuff I feel you guys want to hear about. The welterweight division. We're going to talk about Colby Covington first. He got a power upgrade. His punch power went from 86 to 89. His accuracy went up from 84 to 87. His footwork went from 85 to 88. His Swiss stance went up from an 80 to a 90. So that's 10 points right there. His kick power went up 85 to 89. And his kick speed went up from 85 to 89 as well. And then he got nothing in the grappling, but his cardio is at 100. And then his chin went down, which is understandable. It was a 95, now it's 94. Then his recovery went from a 90 to a 94. So with that cardio being at 100, I feel they should take a look at some of these perks, because these perks are kind of useless, really. Like, they really are. They all have to do with cardio. They all had +3, but stats cap out at 100. So I think they should really relook some of these perks right here. But that's just me. Let's move on to Mr. The welterweight champ here. So his blocking actually went down. It was a 95. Now it's a 94. His head movement went up from a 91 to a 92. His takedown defense went to 100. It was 97. His kick speed went up from 88 to 89. And then his submissions went up from 89 to a 92. And then his cardio went up from a 97 to a 98. We're staying in the welterweight division here. We're going over Chevmaev. He didn't get that many upgrades, to be honest. His top game went up from a 93 to a 94. His submissions went from a 93 to a 94. And his ground striking went from a 93 to a 94. And then his opponent... I keep doing that. His opponent... where is he? Right there. So his blocking went up from a 92 to a 93. His head movement went from a 91 to a 93. His takedowns went down from 87 to 86. And his submissions went down from 89 to 85. I'm surprised they didn't downgrade his sub defense since he got choked out, but it is what it is. And then we're gonna go to the Dan Hooker. Dan Hooker he only got one downgrade, and that's in the submission defense. It was 90, now it's 88. Let's go to the bantamweight division. Corey Sanhedrin. He got a few, nerfs and buffs. So his accuracy went down from a 95 to a 93. And then his takedowns went up from 88 to an 89. His bottom game went down. It was 91. Now it's 89. Then his cardio went up from 94 to 96. His chin, 93 to 95. And his recovery, 93 to 96. So still pretty good. He's still viable. And then Yan, or Yan, Petr Yan, however you want to say his name. So his blocking went up from 93 to 94. His head movement went from 92 to 94. And that's it for striking. He didn't get a lot in the striking. But then his top game went up from a 90 to a 92. His submissions went from 84 to 87. And then his chin went from a 94 to a 95. And his legs went from 89 to a 90. So not, a lot of upgrades, but he upgraded him enough to put him in the number 5 spot here. Rob Font used to be there. So It doesn't take much, man, to get moved up here. So now we are going to go to the heavier guys here. And look at this, man. I love to see this. Look, Glover Teixeira in the championship spot. How can you not love it? He didn't get anything in the striking. God damn it. Sorry, guys. What am I doing here? Alright, Glover. We're on Glover now. Jeez. Okay, so he didn't get anything in the striking, but his top control went from a 92 to a 94. His submissions went from a 93 to a 94, and his clinch control went from 89 to a 90. Those are the only upgrades he got. You know, it is what it is. I was hoping maybe, 1 point on the chin. Because he did take a shot from Jan, and he survived it, man. He took a very clean shot and took it on the chin and just kept going forward. But it is what it is. Can't get all the upgrades you want. But anyway, Jan, he got some nerfs here. No nerfs in the striking, but his bar control went down from 90 to 89. His submission defense went down from 93 to 91. His clinch control went down from 91 to a 90, and his recovery went down from 93 to a 92. So that's it for the light heavyweight division for now. Now we're going to move on to Bettori and Paul Costa, and there's a few other ones that we'll go over. But alright, Marvin Vettori got his punch power went from 89 to a 90. His head movement actually went down from a 94 to a 92. His top control went from 93 to 94. His bottom control went up. Oops, sorry, I gotta move to the grappling here. So again, his top control went from a 93 to a 94. His bottom control went up from a 91 to a 92. And then his chin went up from a 95 to a 97. His body even went up from a 90 to a 91, and his recovery went from a 94 to a 95. So some pretty good stat boosters for him. The only thing I could find on Paulo Costa was his takedowns. His takedowns went supposedly from, they were an 81 and they went up to an 84. Which, to me, that doesn't make sense, but it's the only thing I could find on Paulo Costa. And just so you guys know, I had to find this information on my own. Like, it's not easy. But anyway, let's go back to the women's. Mackenzie Dern is who I'm looking for. Mackenzie Dern. So her accuracy went down. It was 88, and now it's 84. And then his chin went from an 89 to a 91. And then, these next few fighters might not be fighters you guys care about, but they got updated, so I figured I would cover them. Because the next one is Charles Rosa. So I'm sure you guys, like I said, might not care about him, but his kick power went from 88 to 89. His recovery went from a 90 to a 91. And then the next fighter is Tim Elliott. Tim Elliott, his punch speed went from 87 to 89. His accuracy went down. It was 95. Now it's 92. His head movement went up from a 92 to a 93. His footwork, 93 to 94. His switch stance went from 90 to a 94. And then his cardio got a point boost. It was 92. Now it's 93. So let's go over to the lightweight division. Talk about Alexander Hernandez, or Hernandez, however you guys want to say it, but he got a few buffs. His punch speed went up from a 90 to a 91. His head movement went from 86 to 87. Then his clinch striking went from 88 to a 90. I couldn't find anything about his opponent. Didn't look like they touched His opponent was Alex Oliveira. Didn't seem like they upgraded him or downgraded him, so is what it is. Then we're going to go to the light heavyweight division again, and this is the last one, Johnny Walker. So his punch speed went up from a 90 to a 92. His kick speed went from a 92 to a 93, and then nothing in the grappling. Then his cardio went from 87 to 88, and his chin 88 to 89. So I feel like they missed quite a few fighters, like Santos. I couldn't find any upgrades for him. There's a few other ones like Alex Caceres. I know a lot of people don't play as him, but I feel they missed a few fighters that I thought would have got some upgrades. But it is what it is. Overall, I feel the biggest upgrades are in the lightweight division here. Between Justin Gaichy and Islam, and even Michael Chandler getting dropped a bit. And of course, this is just, man, I don't even care that Glover didn't get much upgraded. I just love seeing that right there. But alright, guys, I'm sure I missed a few. But man, this information is just how I had to do it. It's a pain in the ass. It really is. It really is. It takes me a little bit. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like. And if you guys find any other information, just let me know in the comments, man. Just let me know in the comments. And I will get back to you guys. Alright. Have a good day.